In this video, we're going to take a look at creating a Google form. I've already signed into my Google account. I have my Drive open. I'm going to click Create and Form. The first option you will be presented with is choosing a title and a theme for your form. Once you've entered a title, you can select from these themes. If you do not choose a theme, the default theme will be applied. Click OK. At the top of the form are the Norfolk Public Schools settings for this form. If the first option is checked, users of the form will have to be logged into their Norfolk Public Schools account to view the form. If you check the second option, the username will automatically be collected. This is nice when working with students. If you have this option checked, their username is automatically collected, which means you do not have to include a place on the form for them to enter their username. If you are using this form with people outside of Norfolk Public Schools, you'll want to uncheck these options so that they will be able to access it. I'm going to go ahead and leave these options checked. The next area of your form includes the title of the form. The title of the form is also here. You can give your form a description, or I like to use this for help instructions. If I think my users are going to need some extra help in filling out the form, that's what I usually include here. You can increase the size of this box by clicking in the lower right hand corner if you need more area. Then you'll start to see your form questions. There's 7 different question types for Google Forms. You can choose the question type right here within the question. The first option is for your title, and then help text is optional. On a multiple choice question, users get a list of options to choose from. They can select one answer and one answer only for a multiple choice question. If you need to delete one of the choices, you can click the X at the end of the line. You can also give them an option to add their own choice by clicking Add Other. You can edit the question, you can duplicate the question, or you can delete the question from the form. If you want this question to be required, you'll want to check Required Question. That means that the user will have to answer this question before they can submit the form. Go ahead and click Done. We notice that this is a required question because there's an asterisk right next to the question title. We can add another question to our form by clicking the Add Item button. You can choose the question type. And remember that you can always change the question type right within the question if you need to. To edit an existing question, hover over the question and click the pencil. At the bottom of the form, you see the confirmation page. The confirmation message is the message that is displayed once the users submit the form. You can change that and make that more personal if you want to. The first option, Show Link to Submit Another Response, is checked by default. If you leave this option checked, that means that users will be able to submit the form again as many times as they need to. This might not be a good option if you're doing this for a quiz. So I'm going to uncheck that option. Publish and show link to the results of this form. If you have that checked, all respondents will be able to see the form's results after they submit the form. The last option, Allow Responders to Edit Responses After Submitting, means that the users will be able to change their answers once they've submitted the form. You have 2 options to send the form. There's a Send Form button here, and there's also a Send Form button down in the confirmation area. Clicking on Send Form gives you 3 different options that you can use to send this form to other people. You can simply click on the link to share the form and copy it and paste it into an email. You can embed the form into a web page or blog by clicking the Embed button. This is the embed code that you would copy. And you can also send the form via email by adding email addresses to this area here. I'm going to go ahead and click Done. The next thing that you need to decide is where you want your responses to be held. Normally in a form, responses are held in a spreadsheet. And this is creating a new spreadsheet. The name of it will be Practice Form Responses. Or you also have the option of creating a new sheet in an existing spreadsheet if you select this option. You can keep the responses only in the forms, which means you will only be able to see the total responses, not individual responses. If you need to see individual responses to each question, then you want to put the responses in a new spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as New Spreadsheet, and I will click Create. You can view the responses by clicking the View Responses button. That opens up the spreadsheet that is now associated with this form, and as people begin to fill in the form, you'll see their responses here. You can view the live form by clicking the View Live Form button, and that will show you what the form will look like to your users. If you decide that you want to add a theme to this form, you can do so by clicking the Theme button. Back in my Drive, I see that I have two items that are related to that practice form that I just created. I have the form itself, and then I have the spreadsheet that's associated with the form. So those items are now separate documents in your Drive.